$3.3 billion. That sounds like a lot of money by anyone's standards. That's the amount of money, Rowan, isn't it, that the government, the Australian government, recently awarded to Rheinmetall to purchase 211 armoured vehicles. So, yes, 3.3 billion Australian dollars. Tell me, how significant is this deal for the Australian defence industry?
Well, Fiona, it's a very significant deal from a number of different perspectives. Obviously, it's significant for Rheinmetall. It's significant for the state of Queensland, although it will spread significantly beyond Queensland. And it's going to be significant as well for the Australian supply chain, that is the industry players who are going to get involved in this very substantial project. It's significant too from the point of view of government's export policy recently announced of wanting to make Australia in the top 10 of defence equipment exporters in the world. This is a project and a contract which has a significant role to play in that over time. So by any measure, it's a significant amount of money. Equally, by all measures, it's very significant from the point of view of defence industry more broadly, and states in Australia as well.
So how will other companies become involved in this deal?
Rheinmetall has already made it clear that they've done quite a bit of preparatory work in connecting with those companies in Australia who are capable or look capable of supporting them in the manufacturing program of these vehicles. Before I say a little more on that, it's worth noting too, I think, that whilst this particular project of the 211 Boxer 8-wheel drive vehicles is significant, it's a significant part of a larger whole, and Rheinmetall plays in that larger whole as well. So this particular contract is phase 2 of Project Land 400. There is a phase 3 of Project Land 400, and there is also Project Land 121, which Rheinmetall has been successful in winning work in as well. So part of a larger suite of projects really recapitalising the Army after a very torrid period of operational activity. This one more urgent perhaps than some of the others because of the fact that it's replacing the ASLAV wheeled armoured vehicles, which have been used very heavily over the last decade in the Middle East. So very significant, a large part of a much larger whole. And from the point of view of Australian industry and the supply chain that I mentioned, Rheinmetall has indicated that it's identified already over 40 companies who are distributed around Australia that will form a part of what they see as a globally competitive military vehicle industry and its supply chain, based here with some notion around a regional hub in this part of the world. So there are tentacles from this that you can see spreading already around Australia. Some of the defence industry players who've already been identified to play in this supply chain for the manufacture of the Boxer vehicles are Milspec and Bisalloy, who will provide advanced metals out of New South Wales. Interestingly, Bisalloy provided the specialised steel for the construction of the Collins-class submarines 20 or so years ago, and have been engaged by Naval Group to supply steels for the short fin Barracuda to replace the Collins. So that's a success story for Australian steel manufacture. There's also Supershock from South Australia involved in advanced handling systems. Neoa and Penske from Queensland, who are providers of ammunition to the Australian Defence Force and for this project as well. Tasmania gets a look in, Direct Edge, Supercat, Tectonica and Cablex from Victoria, and Hoffman Engineering from West Australia. So in common with many projects of a defence nature, particularly when we're talking about ships and vehicles that are being built here, it's not just Queensland. It's going to be a project that provides lots of opportunity for many small to medium enterprises and larger firms, pretty much right across the country.